at this courthouse behind me, Colleton County Courthouse in Low Country, South Carolina. About 18 anonymous grand jurors showed up 9 a.m. to convene to consider the murder charges against Alec Murdaugh, and it did not take long for them to do so, because about an hour and a half later, we did see South Carolina State Attorney Crichton Waters. He left this courthouse around 10:30 a.m. and, as you know, very secret proceedings, but it didn't take long for the Attorney General's office to release an announcement indicting Alec Murdaugh on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession with a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, and the deaths, of course, of his wife, 52-year-old Maggie Murdaugh, and his son, 22-year-old Paul Murdaugh. I'm sorry, did you say something, Julie?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I was communicating with my producer, Chanley. I thought my mic was killed. Please keep going. I apologize.
I'm sorry. Okay, no worries. I'm sorry. Let's get to the statement, though. The announcement of these charges, it does say in part that over the last 13 months, SLED, that's the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division here in the state, and their partners have worked day in and day out to build a case against the person responsible for the murders of Maggie and Paul, and to exclude those who were not. At no point did agents lose focus on this investigation from the beginning. I have been clear. The priority was to ensure justice was served. Today is one more step in a long process for justice for Maggie and Paul. It has been nearly 13 months since their shocking, brutal slayings that took place about 30 minutes from where I'm standing and sitting here out in front of this Colleton County Courthouse at that 1,700-acre hunting property of the Murdaughs. I've been there several times to where the crime happened. And even though this statement says it was a long process, there's also a statement, Julie, from the defense. The attorneys representing Alec Murdaugh along the way in previous criminal indictments that he already faces. They don't want it to take a long time. Listen to this statement. Alec wants his family, friends, and everyone to know that he did not have anything to do with the murders of Maggie and Paul. He loved them more than anything in the world. It was clear from day one that law enforcement and the Attorney General prematurely concluded that Alec was responsible for the murder of his wife and son, but we know that Alec did not have any motive whatsoever to murder them. We are immediately filing a motion for a speedy trial. We are requesting that the Attorney General turn over all evidence within 30 days as required by law, and we demand to have a trial within 60 days of receiving that evidence. So this process for justice may be moving a lot quicker now that this indictment has been handed down.
Oh my gosh, Chanley, that is huge. That is such huge news, with the enormous news of him being charged. Finally, somebody being held accountable for those killings. And I mean, the connection, I mean, to just think about it. I mean, I know you know, this is that woman's husband. This is that young man's father who's being accused of killing them. I mean, it's just truly unthinkable. And the fact that he wants to fight this as fast as he can adds a whole nother layer to this mess. Would you kindly please for us, Chanley, break down the exact charges, if you would, of what this grand jury issued? So what exactly is he going to fight, you know, within the prescribed period of time?
Absolutely. So 2 counts of murder. That's the top count here in the state of South Carolina, Julie. It is interesting. South Carolina is sort of an anomaly because there are no degrees of murder here. There's no first degree. There's no second degree, third degree murder here. It is just murder. And so as you see the statute, of course, on your screen, it's the killing of another person with malice aforethought, either expressed or implied. So, of course, malice is this hatred, ill will, or hostility towards another person. It's the intentional doing of a wrongful act without just cause or excuse. Intent is to inflict that injury under circumstances that the law will infer evil intent, and that express or implied covers premeditation all the way to reckless disregard for human life here. So it's a broad statute, and it's punishable, Julie, by 30 to life. But it also, we're in a death penalty state, and prosecutors could, under certain circumstances here, they know the evidence best, if it qualifies for a death case, and they would have to file notice of that 30 days before the start of trial, Julie.
I appreciate that, Chanley. Tell us, please, what's next in terms of the proceedings there in South Carolina? When does he have to appear? What can we expect to see, please?
We can expect to see him transfer here to Colleton County. Currently, he's being held in Richland County, Columbia, the capital of South Carolina. He will have to appear for a bond hearing. Likely, we are expecting that next week. And it's not his first bond hearing. At the hearing that will come, he will have his indictment read to him, or he can waive the reading of the indictment that just handed down today. He's being held, of course, currently on $7 million bond. But if you remember, back in January, he appeared before the judge in Colombia on many indictments regarding financial claims. His attorneys tried to get him out on release. Let's take a look back at what they may be arguing coming up next week.
Your Honor, I think it's important to understand a couple things. Mr. Waters, for instance, says this family's so influential in Hampton County. The family's not charged. The guy sitting in front of you in the jail with the mask on is the only one who's charged with anything. He's not Don Corleone. There's not some mafia family out there. If there is, then I challenge Mr. Waters to indict him. If somebody's been threatening his witnesses, they need to be indicted, not come in front of you and make these hyperbolic statements about family influence and snitch.
Again, that's one of his lead attorneys arguing for his release. Sorry for the sirens right now, Julie. There's a fire truck passing by right now. But after the bond hearing, likely he won't be given, release. 2 murder counts here. But after that, we will soon see a preliminary hearing, then his first appearance, a second appearance. Remember, this isn't the only investigation active against Alec Murdaugh. There's about half a dozen still ongoing right now here in the state of South Carolina.
Oh, my goodness, Chanley. Yeah, this guy has no shortage of legal problems. Thank you so much for your reporting. We'll see you later on the broadcast.